An electric performance at the Bolt New Lawn. Giovanni gets a hat-trick and we prepare to welcome back the biggest tosser in the UK.
Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
I'm not the biggest tosser. You don't mean me. You're not welcoming back me.
I'm not saying.
Wow. Ouch.
Could be anyone.
Could be anyone. Could be you, listeners, he means.
Might be talking about one of you.
Do you think Joey does listen in?
No.
Friend of mine's coming to the game on Saturday, QPR fan.
Oh, yeah?
He is a friend. He's become a friend. I didn't know him till quite recently, did some work with him. And his girlfriend's from Exeter, and so they're coming to visit, and his father-in-law's bringing him to the football. So he texted me a photo of, he'd been listening to the Big Bang Theory, been catching up to get in on, get all the info.
Oh, excellent.
So if you want to know the history of Exeter City, last 5 years, go back to episode 1.
Why not listen to them all again if you haven't already?
Listen to them all.
Yeah.
I wonder how many days that would fill.
Couple.
Certainly. More.
You reckon?
We've done 120
An excellent
episodes.
use of time. An excellent use of time.
Half an hour. Yeah, that's
you
2.5
could probably
days.
read some classic novel, in less time and be much better off for it.
Well, some are calling us the modern equivalent of a classic novel.
Are they?
Yeah.
Who are we being compared to? Defoe,
Dostoevsky.
Dickens,
Yeah. So feel free, everyone. Go back.
Chaucer.
Start from the beginning. Chaucer. Cave paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that this is the sort of, the audio equivalent of sort of insane daubings on a wall.
Yeah. Yeah. Knob off truss. We're the audio equivalent of that.
Yeah.
I haven't yet seen that written.
No, but that's perfectly plausible, isn't it,
Knob off
right.
truss, they say.
Yeah.
And I say fair enough. So talking of telling morons to knob off.
Yeah.
City went up the Forest Green.
Yes. We got the
And
sponsor wrong again, like I just mentioned in the intro.
It was the innocent New Lawn, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was that. Then it was something else, and then now it's Bolt.
What's
the
Bolt?
New Lawn. I don't know.
Disney film from the noughties.
Yeah, about a very fast dog.
That's right. Oh, it might be Usain.
Yeah, I think it's probably something to do with like electricity, isn't it?
Makes more sense.
Or it could be an energy drink. Is there an energy drink called Bolt?
Could be. It's not just a guy selling, nuts and
Oh, it could be that. Yeah.
your ironmongery.
Every now and then you need a bolt and a nut and a bolt, don't you?
Certainly do. Forest Green could have done with one to hold their defence together.
Well, feel a bit sorry for him, really. I mean, I know we had our injury problems, but they were I think they were fielding like, the groundskeeper played, I think, and like some of the, one of the chairman's kids.
If a groundskeeper did play, do you think he'd be like knowing where he didn't really want to run? So you think like that bit's a bit worn out?
He had actually a unique insight.
Oh yeah, so it might help him, but
Yeah.
also he might just be like, well, I'm not passing to you because you're
I see what
stood
you mean. Yeah.
10 yards that way and you're
And someone does a slide tackle, he's like going over and like shoving them, like
raging.
the old like little headbutt they do.
Yeah.
Took me hours.
Took me hours. So it was on Sky Sports. And,
Yeah,
And
early-
600 or something City supporters went.
Early kick-off.
Early kick-off. Dale Vince was there, looking weird.
He did look weird, didn't he?
Got a touch of the Skeletors.
Yeah. He's got sort of floppy hair, hasn't he?
He's a bit
I mean, he looks a
Warhol,
bit
isn't
like
he?
me, doesn't he? But like...
No, I think you're doing yourself a massive disservice.
Okay, right.
I think Andy Warhol, in his open coffin, would be disappointed to be compared to Dale Vince.
But he's got sort of darker hair than Warhol. It was not like a shock of blonde hair, is
No,
it?
but he's died, hasn't he?
No, but still kind of like mousy.
Mousy.
I call it mousy.
I think he likes to be called Dale.
His interesting kind of accessories.
Yeah.
Sort of funny sort of pendants on, like...
He looks like a man.
He looked like he'd been in Blue Banana to like get his like outfit.
He looks like... when you
They
get...
pan down and at the end of the shot and he's wearing a pair of those New Rock boots.
I didn't see that.
He's not really.
Oh,
but,
right. Yeah, right.
He's wearing those big sort of clumpy goth boots.
I mean, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
You know that video of those goths dancing under the bridge?
Yes. I did know that
One of
video.
them's him.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's
fair enough.
actually a little known fact, but yeah.
Honestly, you know, like when really posh brands, men's brands, this is, branch out occasionally into like streetwear, and it looks insane, but it's really expensive.
Yeah, I'm aware.
That's what he's done, isn't it?
You reckon? Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Like like Armani are currently trying to do football shirts, aren't they? And
Are they now?
that's what is it EA7, the sponsor that make like Napoli and that. That's Armani.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realise it was made. They do football kits now, do they?
Football kits.
Wow.
And I think Dale Vince, what he's done, he's gone in to buy an Armani suit and he slipped and just crashed into the like discount pile of like attempt at streetwear rack, and they've been like, "You've touched it, you paid for it, Vince."
Yeah. Well, they've got him on the old this is it's very sustainable. This sort of skull pendant.
You know that episode of Friends where Ross thinks he's buying a nice leather jacket and then he turns around and it says on the back, "Boys will be boys."
Yeah.
That's what's happened to Dale Vince. Rachel's advised him.
I was once in. You were there as well in Glasgow.
Was I?
And we went into this vintage sort of clothes shop.
Yeah.
Having a look around, and I was like, found this jacket, sort of like a kind of bouncer's jacket. Do you mean like bomber jacket thing? I was like, this looks good. Like, looks like just my size. And I was like, I wanted one of these, and I kind of had it off the shelf, and I was looking at it, and then I turned it around, and it said Boyzone on the back.
I'd forgotten that. Was it like an official Boyzone jacket?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't buy it. Regretted it ever since, obviously.
Bet you have. Well, anyway, Exeter City went to the Bolt New Lawn Stadium.
Yeah.
And they absolutely rollocked Forest Green Rovers.
We put on quite a show for the Sky viewers.
Rare, isn't it, that happens?
Yeah, I think
City
so.
good
Well,
on the
yeah.
telly.
I couldn't be bothered to look into that. Well,
there was a period of time where we'd never won on the telly, wasn't there? And
right.
then Anyway, 4-0.
4-0 and a good performance up against, I think that side that played and the way they played did struggle in League 2.
Yeah.
Let alone in League 1. And like I said, I do feel a bit sorry for them. Lost a fair few players at the beginning of the season where we didn't, you know.
And they got a
lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Like I know we have as well, but they got more than us. And importantly, we don't have injuries up top.
No.
So we started with Nombe, Jay Stansfield, and then Giovanni Brown in behind, and it paid dividends.
They ran riot.
They did. Jordan Moore-Taylor sort of plays a kind of lackadaisical ball to his mate, who then tries to return it, but doesn't realise that he just passed it straight into the path of Giovanni, who actually, the weight of the pass that Giovanni slips through to Sam Nombe is perfect.
Yeah.
And then a nice finish from Nombe.
Yeah, quite an angle, wasn't it? No problem.
Quite an angle, beats the keeper at the near post. You could maybe expect the keeper to do better there.
Yeah.
But we're off 1-0 pretty early on.
Yeah, I think it was 9 minutes, was it?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Talking of keepers maybe doing better, I don't know what's happened, but Jamal Blackman's had some sort of awful accident.
Oh, the hair.
The hair.
I mean, I was quite
Has he done that for the telly?
bemused.
Has he done that for the
They
telly?
said it was something to do with his daughter wanted it like that or something.
My daughter wants chocolate cake for breakfast,
Yeah.
but you know?
Yeah.
And if she's advised me on hair...
Would you not take hair advice from your 7-year-old?
No, I would not. And I'd suggest that Jamal thinks strongly before he does again.
I mean, I like the concept, but you're playing against a team who kit is exactly those two colours. And we got Argyle in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it didn't matter. In fact, anything, it might have helped because we didn't concede. And he did an absolutely exceptional save. Was that a 2-0?
That was a 2-0. So the second goal was Sparks.
It was a penalty second, was it?
Yeah,
not?
that's right. Sparks puts the cross in to Harper.
Yeah.
No, it bounces out, doesn't it? Harper tries to put his head on it and gets absolutely poleaxed.
Yeah, he sticks his head in there in the danger zone, and then one of their defenders has got his studs up
Yeah, I mean, it was almost an Anne Boleyn moment, wasn't it? Honestly, was it?
Yeah, it's definite penalty. I mean, he does sort of get the ball. I think they both kind of get a bit of the ball, but the guy's it's not like Jamal's like. No, sorry, not Jamal. It's not like Raheem's got his head like really low down either. Do you know what I mean? Like the guy's a high boot,
No, he's
and
jumped.
it's a definite pen. And Giovanni, he's a penalty guy
Yeah, he
these
is,
days,
yeah.
isn't he? And you can see why, because keeper goes the right way, but it's right in the side netting.
Lovely, 2-0.
Lovely 2-0, yeah. And now we're really cooking with gas.
Yeah.
Although they could be coming back a little bit into it at 2-0,
So
don't they?
then they kind of up their game a bit, don't they? And they have
Yeah.
a bit of pressure.
There's absolute goalmouth scramble. So Harper makes this really good.
Blackman.
Sorry, flipping it. In my defence, yeah, I've just come from the dentist.
Yes, you have.
I'm on drugs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, really. So this is
That's how committed he is, listeners.
yeah. I'm currently sort of drifting above all the buildings, and I'm looking down on all these people, and they all look like ants.
So if you thought that we were usually a bit off topic and, vague.
Yeah, I can't be held accountable for anything I say today.
So they have a shot, don't they? And Blackman makes a good save.
Blackman makes a good save.
Comes back in.
And like the guy kind of does someone and is faced with the goal. Somehow it manages to stay out. It's sort of a combination of like key blocking it and then it hitting Blackman,
But
and then
there's Hartridge on the line.
and then Hartridge
first, was that
off
second?
the line. Who knows? Don't know how it didn't go in.
Blackman makes 2 saves, definitely, doesn't he?
Yeah, but it's essentially that's the only real chance they had in the whole game, really, that I can remember.
Yeah, that's right. So then we go straight down the other end, pretty much, before half-time.
Yeah.
And this time it's Stansfield,
Yeah.
who's been super energetic.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, the first goal doesn't even really happen without Stansfield's excellent movement, which is something
true.
with basically the main thing we've seen of him so far is his ability to kind of like cause trouble with the places he goes.
Yeah.
And but this time he gets down the left-hand side. It's a lovely little pick out. He gets his head up early. He's kind of like got a defender in front of him approaching the box from the left. Gets his head up early. You can know he's seen Giovanni about to break into the box and picks him out. Lovely. And then really good finish. First time left foot into the bottom corner from Giovanni. And then we're 3-0 up.
3-0 at half-time.
And now you're thinking, I know that, Shrewsbury were, but we're looking better.
And I think we took a lesson from that. Like, beginning of the second half, we really shut them out, didn't we? We really shut them out. It was really excellent. So
yeah. So we got that kind of makeshift back three again with Josh Key, right-hand side of the three, Sweeney in the middle, Alex Hartridge on the left. Alex Hartridge looked a lot better than he did last week.
Yeah.
Much more assertive, big headers away. It looked really good. Like I said, it's not the ideal setup, but they all did their jobs really well against a team who, to be honest, really weren't up to much. But
you have to play Sparks. I think you have to play Sparks on the left.
I agree. Caprice was good as well down the right.
Caprice was good, but Sparks is actually, when he's on his day, and that's more and more consistent, isn't he? Like, he's more likely to be good than bad these days.
I agree. Yeah, he's been excellent since he came back from Yeovil, basically.
Yes, Torquay,
sorry. Yeah, and he just causes problems all the time. He can always get his cross away. The cross isn't always brilliant.
But
a few loops to the
is.
back post, but he's not bad, and he's just always causing problems down that left-hand side. And I think, he should be. I mean, if fit, I don't think there should be any question that he plays there.
No, that's right. And then Caprice was on the right, wasn't he? Harry Kite's injured again.
Yeah, that's a weird one, isn't it? Haven't you heard anything about that? He just suddenly wasn't in the squad.
Something happened in the week, apparently.
Right.
And then Collins, great. Harper, best game for us so far.
Yeah, they did really well together. And that could be really good. I thought he was good on the ball, Harper.
Yeah.
He's got a really good touch when it comes to him, like neat, tidy, which was the first impressions I had of him as well, and you don't want to be too reactionary, which we tried not to be last week when he didn't have the best game, whatever, but I thought Collins was absolutely superb. Yeah. And there was a chance he had where he nearly scored. He kind of like jinked past a bunch of players, and it's only because of a very good save from their keeper that he didn't. I was sort of screaming at him to shoot, and then he cut it back onto his left, and I was like, and then just keeper just managed to get something on it and keep him out. But he kind of deserved a goal there.
Yeah.
Because he had such a good game.
Indeed. So then in the second half, we got our fourth goal. There was it a Sweeney hit the crossbar? Am I remembering that right?
Did he?
I'm getting confused. But another penalty, wasn't it? So it was Sparks brought down this time.
Yeah.
And
again, Sparks loves a dive, doesn't he?
Yes, goes down.
Absolutely loves one, and it was quite theatrical. But it was clearly there was a standing leg from the defender.
Yeah.
The defender had been completely done by the cutback, and Sparks went over, and he knew he was going over, and he made the most of it. But I don't think you can really argue that it was a pen, especially as they say, in the modern age.
Indeed. So Giovanni steps up again and takes the same penalty.
Yeah.
And that's...
Yeah, keeper goes the same way again, but this one's even more emphatic. You're not saving that.
So that's 4-0. That's a hat-trick. We've embarrassed our promotion rivals from last season. We've looked good on the telly.
Yeah.
Lovely sunny afternoon.
Giovanni played for them, remember, as well, a couple of seasons ago. He went on loan there and he played a couple of games, but yeah. So, I noticed when he's taken the second penalty that it was in front of the Forest Green fans.
Yeah.
And there was a lad filming it. And I was thinking, well, okay, why is he filming this? I was like, oh, of course, because if he misses, he's going to stick it on Twitter and go like, Giovanni Brown. But as it happened, obviously he didn't miss, so that kid's obviously gone delete immediately.
Shame, because I'd like to see that.
Well, you can see it's on telly. Interesting, wasn't it? Being able to see different camera angles.
Yes. Funny, isn't it?
Close-ups.
Yeah.
And rather than just the iFollow single cam kind of student film approach to football coverage.
Yeah, quite different. I mean...
Didn't see any Jilly Cooper advertising?
No, none of that.
Gone off it.
Sky lower league coverage.
Yeah.
It's kind of daft, isn't it?
How do you mean?
Like...
Oh, phone's
Sorry,
on
terribly sorry, everyone. Because, they don't really know what they're talking about. Like
they've always got Roger McGough on there in the studio, or whatever his name is, haven't they?
Joby McAnuff, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
But I suppose I mean more the actual commentators. Why aren't they saying to Alan Tongue, for example, oh, would you come on Sky? I realise it's all to do with contracts and that, but...
Oh, yeah, they got their own guys.
Waste of time.
I, to be honest, wasn't that worried.
They're not bad. They're better than the kind of people you get on Radio Devon, let's be honest.
Tongue aside.
Yeah, I mean, when you get some random
James
collection.
Harris, he's good.
Sorry, James. And no, when you get a random...
No, you don't have to apologise to him. I was saying he's top notch. He should be on Sky.
So I'm saying there are Radio Devon people, random ones, and you're like, oh, not these lot. When it's people we really like and know, great.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously the Sky lot are a better pedigree than the Radio Devon B-list.
But they don't obviously know that much, do they?
Don't know that much.
They're sort of talking about Giovanni Brown sort of having a goal drought.
Well, they kept calling him Giovanni as well.
Did they?
Yeah, when he interviewed him afterwards, Giovanni.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that during the game.
Someone did that.
Someone did that a few weeks ago, though, didn't they?
Yeah, goal drought. Well, you're right. It's almost as many as he's ever scored.
Well, I mean, it's 7 games without a goal, but I don't ever see him as someone... He gets a lot of goals for us, but I don't ever see him as he's more of an assist guy, I'd say.
Well, he's now got the most goals for us this season, and he's got the most assists for us this season.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's that kind of thing, isn't it? You just kind of want someone to say, oh, last week they were great. I don't know. Maybe it's just my...
I suppose
prejudice.
You can't. They're not specialists, are they? So there's they're thinking, I'm not going to do that much research for commentating on a 12:30 kickoff between two League Two.
I wonder how many people watch it.
Yeah, I was thinking that, and I was thinking, what else is on at the moment?
No, I mean, there was no...
But there's some WSL games on, weren't there?
There was.
I imagine more people watch that.
Yeah.
And then a few kind of nerds who like watching League Two football teams they don't support.
Wash your mouth out, Dan. That's League One football.
Sorry, yeah, League One.
Yeah.
For example, Matt Taylor, who at the end of the game, straight in the chopper, don't think it was a chopper, but straight out the gate
Right.
to go and watch Bristol Rovers in the 3 o'clock.
Oh, was he?
Because we're playing
Because
them
we're
this
playing next
Saturday,
week.
yeah.
I mean, that works logistically, of course.
Yeah. So Wayne
So-
Carlisle did the.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, right, that makes sense.
I love Wayne Carlisle.
Oh, I love Wayne Carlisle. Next manager?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Fits the mould.
Although, I mean, I get him. He might go with Taylor, mightn't he? Do you mean like
He
if
might go
Taylor
with
gets a
Taylor.
new job,
Yeah,
he might take him with him.
Yeah. Lovely stuff. I mean, that was a lovely afternoon's work, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. It was a nice start to the day, wasn't it? You know, I basically just got up, crawled out of bed, switched the telly on. You know, like.
Ideal.
And then it's nice because you can then see the other results. You don't know where you're going to end. You don't know where you're going to be in the table.
Yeah.
Kind of come the end of the day,
Yeah,
do you?
yeah.
You know? And like, but you're kind of like you're out the way, so you just have to like watch the others with no like, oh, just you know. Was that our first away win of the season? I think they said that on Sky, and I was like, oh, is that right? But I've got a feeling maybe it is. We've had a few good draws.
Drew at Lincoln. Lost at Shrewsbury. That's all I can remember.
Also-
Charlton was called off.
Also, there's like been less games than I think there have. I kind of think,
Well, it's 10 now, isn't it?
We're way into
that
the
10?
season, but we're not.
I think that's 10. Let's just finish off the Forest Green news, can we, while we're here?
Please do.
Well, you'll recall, listeners, that Rob Edwards, their former manager? As soon as he got promoted...
Rob Edwards, Edwards.
Is that his, no, not our Rob Edwards. I can't remember his name now. Forest Green's manager from last season.
Oh, yeah, he went to like...
Watford.
Yeah,
Now
and
he's
he's
been
been
sacked.
sacked. It was always going to happen, wasn't it?
I mean, does no one ever learn?
They could have him back.
Well, they might well have him back. I was thinking that, except I think Vince burnt his bridges. Or he burnt
Oh, yeah.
Vince's bridges. Wasn't it? It was all that.
Yeah, that was a bit kind of
That's what I mean. Like,
sour.
and then where
Yeah,
does...
that is our first away win of the season.
Is it? Where does
just
someone
been-
like that go to? Like, it's just that I'm just amazed. Like, I realise he probably earned an awful lot of money for 3 months' work at Watford, and so that's what it's all about, isn't it? But he might struggle to find another league football job again. He probably won't.
No,
I'm
I don't
probably
think that would.
exaggerating.
I don't think people will go like. You won't even include. It's like Graham Potter going to Chelsea. If you get sacked next week, no one will even
Don't even count
include it.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe,
like
maybe.
it doesn't count. They're just like sack merchants. You know,
You wonder if he's
more
like
sack than the buzzard swoop at Creeley.
good. What an excellent reference.
I'm not explaining it.
No.
If you know, you know.
Those drugs have really paid off. Well, yeah. Anyway, that finishes Forest Green, so they're looking down the league, whereas we're starting to look up. Anyway, more of that in a second. Welcome back, everyone. Remember, you can get in touch with us in all the normal ways at Big Bank Pod on Twitter, bigbankpod@gmail.com on email, and we're on Facebook as well. Dan, the league table looks like this. I'm not going to mention who's top. Ipswich are second on 21 points. Portsmouth, Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, Bolton, Cambridge United, Peterborough United, Shrewsbury Town are in 9th with 15 points. Exeter City are 10th with 14 points, which is equal to Derby in 11th. We played some games. We played a game more than some people, because quite a lot had games called off because of the international break.
Right. Okay.
And our goal average is +6.
Yeah, notably, and we talked about this before, we haven't had to play any of those. It's basically looking like kind of two different divisions in one, isn't it? All the people you'd expect at the top, and then everybody else in a kind of random order. But like, we haven't had to play any of them yet, apart from Cambridge and Shrewsbury, who are kind of not even what I'm talking about. But we are going to soon. But I don't think it matters. I don't think that means that this is like a false idea of where we are, because they're not the ones we've got to worry about.
Yeah.
I think we've done well to get the amount of points we have from the games we've played. If we had lost more, I'd be a bit worried.
Yeah.
Because we still haven't played any of these other ones. But it's like, it's okay. We're getting results where we're largely, or enough where we should be. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, and Saturday was an excellent example of that. Just taking advantage. I know it's a kind of, they're a wounded animal, Forest Green,
Yeah.
probably a rabbit or something. Or some sort of soft, cuddly woodland animal you'd find in those parts. Perhaps a little deer, a wounded deer.
Apparently the pasties were a little deer on Saturday.
Were they?
Yeah.
Pasties, is it up there?
Actually, I don't know.
Bit rich. Not exactly the southwest, is it?
I mean, that top six is who you'd expect, isn't it? You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Argyle, Ipswich, Portsmouth, Wednesday, Barnsley, Bolton.
Argyle coming up, of course, fairly soon. Not just yet. I'm going on my own at the minute, so if any listeners want to go with me, please get in touch.
It's because of the
whoever emails in first, I'll go with you.
Wow.
Okay? I can't drive, and other than that, I'll do my best to.
Nice. What an offer. It's because of the move, isn't it? I'm really annoyed about the moving it to the Monday. Couldn't be more annoyed, in fact.
Yeah, well,
I mean, now I start to realise what everyone talks about when you're on the telly. Like, it's never been a concern for us before, has it? But
no.
Anyway, on Saturday...
Who's coming to town?
Bristol Rovers, the Gas, the Pirates.
Yeah, we've got quite a good record against them in recent times.
Our home fixture against them last year was...
James Park.
Excellent.
Yeah. What was that again?
That was 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah. Harry Kite's wonder goal, wasn't it? They're not in a good run of form, although...
They're sort of fourth from bottom, aren't they? But they've played some harder teams.
They've played some bigger teams. They got 8 points, -7 on the goals.
Yeah, although the weekend they lost 1-0 to Accrington, so, I mean, it's not all just like, we've only played the big team.
No, it's not. And obviously that runs out, and obviously, like, optimism or, feeling positive makes a lot of difference. So they're coming feeling downtrodden.
Yeah, and taking that one result in isolation, Accrington at home, if you're Bristol Rovers, if you're wanting to stay out of a relegation fight, I know there's a lot more to it than this. There's a long season, but that's one you don't want to lose.
Yeah.
It's like us when we lost at home to whoever it was, Port Vale or whoever it was.
Yeah.
You don't want stuff like that happening,
My cousin, Colin, is a Bristol Rovers season ticket holder. He's coming on Saturday. And they said it was dreadful, and they're dreading this game now. Particularly because of last year's
bet.
drubbing.
They will have good memories of coming there.
And then they look at us beat Thump Forest Green, and they're thinking, And apparently the Lincoln game, 6-3 the week before, was a disaster.
Yeah.
So hopefully another good...
I expect goals.
Yeah. Diabate, no sign. He was not going to be back for a while yet, is he?
I don't think anyone's back yet.
No.
But they're all not... It's not too bad. None of them seem like really... Kyle Taylor aside, obviously, none of them seem like they're going to be too long out.
Yeah.
Stubbs, I guess, is the one where we don't really know because he's got such a weird knee.
Yeah. You feel like with Stubbs, he could just appear one day, don't you?
Yeah. Well, that's what it was last time.
We
were talking about his weird knee, and then a couple of weeks later, he's our main player last season. So
yeah. Obviously, the more, like we said before, the more we can accrue before we hit the really tough games, the better. Be good to remind ourselves what it feels like to win at St James Park, wouldn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Been a while.
Yeah, I think anything can happen. Kind of Bristol Rovers going to want this win. Like whether they're optimistic about it or not, I don't know. The supporters, but they are going to see this as a game that they could win, and they're probably going to be going for it. They got Ryan Loft up front.
He's still there. He's only got 3 this year. Aaron Collins is the other one who's got 6. But Ryan Loft is, obviously Barton sees more in him than we did, and fair enough, he's got 3 goals. But yeah, mad, eh?
Yeah.
He's only had 3 shots on target, and he scored with all 3 of them. So there we are.
Wow.
That's a statistic for you. I don't know. I feel like at the moment with City, anyone could turn up. Do you know what I mean? Could have exactly the same starting lineup.
Well, we've basically put in the same... Well, we haven't, actually, because it was a different forward line, wasn't it? Tell you what I'd like to see is that forward line again. Yeah. Especially if Kite's still out, I think it worked, it does ask a lot of Harper and Harper Collins in the middle there.
Yeah.
But they've got a fantastic record of, putting out excellent work for a long time,
I bet Bristol Rovers wish they could take a leaf out of their book.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I'd love to see that front 3 again. I think I'm sad
Me
about
too.
it.
It's like that's like terrifying, isn't it? Them three up front.
I would say so.
You got like what happened at the weekend. You got like, oh, he's going over there. Oh, we better deal with that. Oh, what about this guy? And then there's another one turning up. Like.
Yeah, love to see Stano get on the score sheet.
Oh, it'll come. It's going to come,
gonna come.
And it could be this weekend, and it was going to be glorious when it happens.
Yeah, it really is. You'll also have noticed that the Charlton game's been rearranged, so that's now week Tuesday. No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks this
Tuesday the 11th.
Yes,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, shame because I missed that one from being away, and I can't make the rescheduled one either. So
Tuesday in London, and it's really hard. I mean, that was inevitable.
I looked at the trains, £100
Of course.
for a train up to there.
On the positive political news, Labour are going to renationalise the railways.
I believe it when I see it.
Well, fair enough. But
Liars.
if that happens, that would make away day football travel a lot more feasible for a lot of people. That's by the by. We're not here to talk about politics.
No.
But, yeah, impossible to get to. And probably we've gone from taking maybe 1,500 people to taking 500.
Possibly, although, yeah. I think with those London games, a lot of the people go are London people.
Yeah,
I mean, that's always seems to be the way. That's why it's almost twice as many City fans go to those London games, but as other places. But yeah, Tuesday night, and I don't know. I'm sure it'll still be good. I've been there a long time ago. I think back
FA
when we
Cup
had them in
game.
the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And it was great. It had you remember in the old cowshed,
Yeah.
going back away now, the bloke's toilets was just a wall with a bit of drain at the bottom.
Remember that wall, yeah.
You just piss against the wall, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
They had that at Charlton as well. I was like, oh, this is like what we've got. Remember that? Remember that? But they
Premier League's not so
they
different.
probably haven't got that anymore because they've been in the Premier League since then.
Yeah, I remember that. Days of Kirbishley, wasn't it? Anyway, it's Bristol Rovers this Saturday. Joey Barton.
Barton. When's he going to do one?
I don't know. Funny fella, isn't he?
They kind of like him there, I think, don't they? But they always,
Well, he got him up.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
He delivered my cousin Colin a fruit basket. Did I tell you that?
You did, yeah. I don't think
Colin's
that
a nurse, and they were
doesn't
like...
make up for all of his sins just because you bunged someone some fruit.
Fair enough.
If it was that simple, do you mean everyone would be doing that? Like, I go and rob a bank in a minute,
Yeah.
and then I go like, oh, don't worry, and just put a banana through the letterbox the next day and say, what? Barton did it?
You could claim innocence, couldn't you? You could be like, no, I wasn't robbing the bank. That was just the banana I was trying to give you inside my trench coat. And you misconstrued it and gave me a load of cash. And it wasn't until later on that I realised. So now I've come back to give you the banana to show you my good intentions.
Yeah, I was just trying to do a kind act and give a bank employee a banana.
Yeah.
But it got caught on the inside of my Mac.
Yeah.
And you just gave me a load of money. What was I supposed to do?
I thought that's what happened in banks.
Yeah, well, that is what happens in banks.
I said, can
you
I
go
make
in
a
there
withdrawal?
and they give you some money. So I don't see why you're all getting so upset about this.
Fair enough.
Who is getting upset about this?
It's Joey Barton. Well, I think probably
Barton,
the people he beat up. Yeah, probably upset.
Yeah, well, was it Nedum Manure who... No, it wasn't him, was it? It was one of the Man City youth players. He put a cigar out in their eye.
Oh.
But he's done plenty more since then, and as a fully grown man as well. So that's not my favourite thing about Joey Barton was when he did that weird French accent when he was playing for Marseille, and he's going like, "How you say?" But talking in English, but with a French accent. It was absolutely incredible. What a numpty.
Yeah. Zut alors. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague, Dan.
Cheers.
See you next week.